This then is the story of how three friends find Western Australia's very best inland campsite. Well, so we thought. And then we found another one that was even better, and then, unbelievably, another one that was even better than that.
I still remember your number.
And hello. Keen-eyed viewers amongst you will recognise this place. This is our first night stop on the Canning Stock Route Friends Cross the Canning series that was released in 2022. And that's where you find us now. And the three vehicles that the Range Rover will be supporting on this epic journey are some old Hilux with some stuff bolted to the back. Nissan Triton, I think it is. And my fantastic troop carrier. Where I took my troop carrier, that Nissan Triton, whatever it is, and of course there was a Hilux and the Range Rover on crossing the Canning Stock Route. And this trip is not reliving that, but it is, well, what is it? Three blokes crossing three deserts. That's what it is. Which, through no fault of our own, turned into three friends going in search of water in the desert. But more than that, we have a couple of things to do. It's my Troop Carrier 2.8's first expedition. I've camped in it once before just to try out the Headspace camper top, but nothing else. The vehicle is built. I'll share with you what I did to get it ready for this trip. It's by no means finished, but it is ready for a good tough trip. There are other things that I want to do to it, and also that rooftop tent there, which is a new product that's been recently introduced to the Australian market, and that's one we've got for a review. I'm Andrew St Pierre White, explorer, overlander and broadcaster with over 40 years driving 4x4s in association with Egon, game-changing simplicity. Quick shout out to somebody who is not a sponsor, but I wish they were, Little Creatures Amber Ale. They make a very, very nice light beer, and actually it's one of my, probably my favorite, I haven't had any yet, favourite Australian beer. John? The same John from Friends Cross the Canning series.
You feel alive, let's hit the dance floor. Don't work too hard, my break a backbone.
Has joined me. Yeah. And these sunglasses are not Australian. They've got a bottle opener on them. Not Australian. Amazing, hey? Amazing that Australians didn't think of it first, but they didn't. This is an American, Martin Painter. Cheers.
Good trip.
You're out of frame there. Tomorrow we will meet with Heine in his Land Cruiser 76 to begin our adventure. Well, good morning to you. If I haven't mentioned it, and I know I haven't because I've only just woken up, you've got to check out our Mongolia special that Gun and I shot in September. It's now middle of October. Epic show that we did. Absolutely amazing time. And the reason for this cap is that I want to give a shout out to all of the people, many people, generous people that helped me build my 2.8 troop carrier. How was the tent?
Good.
Your first night in it. It's called a top oak. They should make these in South Africa because then it'd be told, "Da top oak." You're a top oak guy for having one of these tents. Well done there. More about that later. Well, we'll do a review on it later in the trip when you've had 4, 5, 6 nights in it.
Yeah.
And we've pitched it and closed it a dozen times, etc. We are in the town of Newman to pick up some last supplies and of course meet up with Heine in his Land Cruiser 76. Heine also one of the stars of Friends Cross the Canning. Why do I keep mentioning Friends Cross the Canning? Well, because it's the best show I have ever made. Tomorrow we begin the Canning Stock Route. So why all the fuss? If you enjoy unscripted adventure travel with a real challenge confronting us, then don't miss this. It really is something special. Pretty hot.
Easy trip?
Easy trip. Check out the map. There it is there. We are now at Newman. We're going to head north and then a whole lot of east, all the way along the it's called the Tallawanna track, all the way to a junction point on the Canning Stock route, not far from Lake Disappointment.
Water. Putting fuel in the water tank.
Good track.
Right?
Really good track.
Water in the
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where it goes.
That's where it goes.
To the top, right?
Right to the top.
No, but I put oil in there until it was full.
Okay. After the oil.
Like a good mechanic. Yeah, but no, that's why I can't put any more water in because it's already full with
full.
oil. Yeah,
Full.
full. More is better. And until, you know, we were a long way away from everything. I wanted to make sure I've got all the oil with me.
Yeah, carry it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of spare in case you need some. My engine's full of it. We'll backfill it with water to get oil out.
Newman is a mining town. Most of the vehicles driving around are mine vehicles. There are huge iron ore mines. Of course, this is the Pilbara, which is basically an enormous slab of iron covering a large portion of the northern part of Western Australia. It is an absolutely vast piece of real estate, and it is a mecca for iron ore mining. So most of the people we're seeing around here get paid very high salaries for working in the mines. It's tough work, a lot of it fly in, fly out from larger centres like Perth. Salaries are very high, which means everything is very expensive. And we're doing the kind of trip that I absolutely love doing, and that is we've drawn a route, and it's yeah, how are we doing today? Yeah, let's do that. Got a bit of spare time? Let's do that little road instead. Yeah, cool. We basically got 2 and a bit weeks to do a trip that we could easily do in 10 days. Maybe 12. Anyway, fantastic, because there's no schedule, there's no booking. We don't have to be anywhere by any particular time. And that makes it brilliant, because it's just... So this must be some kind of... There's solar panels there, so I guess it's some kind of solar pump,
I think so.
because it's overflowing.
I would not drink that stuff like that, but you could probably drink that straight away. Shit, that's nice. Tastes alright too. How often do you find a swimming pool in the desert? Fuck, my boots are so chill. Woo! How is it? Fuck yeah, let's stay here.
Nice, isn't it?
It's very nice.
It's really nice.
Yeah, it's even better when you jump into the pool.
Ah! Bugger! We've been talking to each other over the radio about the magic of this kind of travel, and that you're driving from nowhere to nowhere, and in between you don't really see anything, but you have these brief encounters, experiences like the well, and the idea of being able to do this kind of travel, remote travel, for no specific reason, not necessarily to go to a specific place, just to be in a place where there is nobody. For many, many people, that's a scary thought, but it's what we love about Western Australia. We found a track off the main road, followed it, and I found a nice clearing under some trees. This will do nicely. Good morning to you. Well, very, very windy night. The wind didn't really stop blowing much all night and came up at true gale force in the middle of the night, woke everybody up. I might be up. Surprised that it didn't wake up everybody. And it's calmed a little bit this morning, and we're expecting quite high temperatures today. Why do we know that? Well, we have the internet. We have Starlink. First time I've ever done a wilderness trip with Starlink, with internet connection. Hey, actually, it's really nice. We looked up the weather, and the wind is going to continue today and probably die down, but the temperature is going to go up over the next 2 or 3 days. So, yeah, it's fantastic.
What's the plan for today, Andrew?
Drive, tell a few jokes. Ah, you're on the camera. You're pointing a camera at me. I better get serious. Drive and tell a few jokes.
That could work.
So we're turning off the road now, and water 8 kilometers. Right, heading north. Basically, we've been heading east, we're now heading north, and we're going to do a loop in this conservation area.
We are miles from nowhere,
Yes.
but I think we're gonna find some water. So
Yeah.
hopefully this afternoon we can swim in a gorge somewhere.
That's
I'd really like that.
Yeah.
It says water 8 kilometers, so.
what I'm thinking.
I believe it when I see it.
Yeah. But it's so green in the desert right now. And I mean, we did see water in creeks. This time of the year, that's almost impossible. And I mean, if you look around, this doesn't look like...
I think I've had very late rains.
Yeah.
Like how green some of the spinifex is.
We have just turned off to go into the Kala Milji National Park, and it does look like there's hardly anybody ever going here. Track is just clean off any tracks of other people going in here, and it's supposed to be really pretty. Plus there has been a lot of rain here recently, so hopefully we'll find a few really good water holes that we can swim in. At the moment, the other guys are just prepping the cars. Andrew is installing some extra GoPros to check out the suspension, and I think it's time to just have a little bite to eat. Johnny's putting the sand flag on, so we're just prepping because this track is it's not great, and there's probably some good four-wheel driving ahead, I hope.
But I'm just going to go ahead and drive a bit and get some shots. For the first time, I am trying a 2.5-inch diameter shock absorber. This one made by Superior Engineering in Australia. Electric in-cab adjustable monotube with reservoir shock absorbers for my lift kit based on Terrain Tamer smart coils on the front and parabolic spring sets at the back. These shocks permit me to adjust the compression settings on the fly. There will be a separate video reviewing my impressions of this product.
But some of the corrugations are so brutal. It does honestly feel like it's shaking the car into bits and pieces. And I think the feeling of corrugations is best described as sitting inside the compacting drum of an earth compactor.
At the risk of a spoiler, holy crap! Beautiful, beautiful thing. It's opened up. And by the look of the track, a couple of mud holes. Nobody has driven here in weeks. Certainly since the last rains, and I don't know when they were. Not that long ago, because there is still a fair amount of standing water. But yeah, the chance of us seeing anybody is, I would say, very low. Just checking nav.
This is the river, but it is mainly underground river, at least this time of the year. But there must have been water just recently.
Yeah, it's an underground, it'll be an underground stream, and indicated by the line of trees.
Wow, that is not just a little bit of water.
No, it's not just a little bit, it's a lot.
Find some crayfish in here.
Look at these fishes. Oh, those are tadpoles. Oh, they're tadpoles.
Yeah, maybe we can find crayfish in this one.
Yeah.
Gold.
I don't know.
You think that's gold?
It was shiny.
Might be fool's gold.
Well, I'm a fool who'll probably be right if I'll find that.
The real treasure are the memories we make on the way.
Oh dear. Hello, Corny.
Thank you, Matthew McConaughey. Your work out crazy.
Yeah.
What did you say? Thank you, Matthew.
Thank you, Matthew McConaughey. Your words are a treasure.
Check out this campsite. But in a similar riverbed, not far away. Man, this is beautiful.
Wow.
Hey?
Wow.
Wow! This is so beautiful. Man.
I think we found a campsite, hey?
Well, yeah.
And you're not gonna scream. You won't be allergic to this water because this is really warm.
Not too cold.
No, not at all.
Okay, cool. It was worth that rough, terrible bit of road.
So
It was
much.
worth it.
Look at this as a campsite.
I reckon. The awnings are on the other side. Put them together to have shade.
So the sun is doing what? It's that way, isn't it?
We want the awnings this side, really.
Or we can just... Yes, I know what you're saying. Need to do a 360.
Oh, 180 would probably be better.
No, 360.
End up right where we started again.
Exactly.
Go full circle.
Man, we can
Bloody.
definitely make a fire here.
Yeah.
And then we can have some nice dinner.
We'll have a fire right on the edge of the water.
Like there?
There's plenty of food here for them.
Climb up the ladder.
There's tiny little lights that you can sometimes see are actually spiders.
So we don't really want to start cooking downwind.
Oh, what are we cooking, John?
Well, we're going to have some pasta, and then we're going to have it with a nice little side dish of some crayfish, freshly caught out of the river. And what else are we making with that, Hannah?
Also some pesto, rocket, tomato, and put some parmesan on top. I think that'd be nice.
Go.
Yeah, they're getting there. Go give them a little bit of a rotation. Give those a couple more minutes. I think they'll be good. Yeah.
Hey, Harry, I watched your show about your burgers and chips. Go suck eggs. Yeah. Bloody brilliant. And then dinner was interrupted by a visitor. At first we thought it was a venomous tiger snake.
It doesn't look scared or spooked.
But on closer inspection it turned out to be a Pilbara python.
So I was walking back now from my car past yours, and I noticed all your doors open. And I thought to myself, a snake could actually find a home inside your car.
You reckon they can get in?
Yeah, absolutely. And I've actually stopped the habit of leaving all my cars. And I used to do. I was terrible at it for years and years and years.
Right.
Well, the thing is, what I'm also like worried about is them sitting in the engine block if they're warm at night. If you come and you park up.
They can really get up there. I mean, that is a massive step up.
Fuck yeah, they can.
Oh yeah, he can. No question.
Look at it go.
No question about it.
I have woken to an idyllic camp setting. One could argue that this is not the best inland campsite in all of Western Australia. But think about this. There's nobody around. Nobody for hundreds of square kilometres. That fact alone means it shoots up the charts. That was a memorable night. It really was. One of the nicest campsites I've ever found in Australia. I think actually it is. I think it now reaches bumped all of the other great campsites down the list. This is the best. And crayfish, can't get better than that. With my previous Land Cruiser builds, I have installed a water purification system inside the vehicle so that when I take water out of the tank, it is purified before I drink it. And if it goes to the shower and things, it's not purified. I'm trying a different take this time. This is the Guzzle H2O, pure water, no trash. It's called the Stream. We used the Stream on this trip and I shot a review on a separate video. I think, yeah, it's more versatile than having the Stealth mounted permanently in the vehicle. Yeah, it's pretty hot today. Well, it's about 32 now. The water? The water is just right. The flies are not terrible, they're bad, but you know, again, get used to the flies. Not bad enough to need a fly net, but having this cool water here, that's fantastic. Second swim I've had today. We are so fortunate to have found this absolutely magnificent place. Middle of nowhere and nobody around. We are so lucky to be able to do this kind of stuff. I'll never take it for granted. And it's for this is why we build these vehicles. For ourselves and for others. This is the thing. And I know that those of you who are familiar with my channel, you know, every now and again last time I did it, I was see, I do know how to use a comb. I was in Botswana, on the northeastern part of Botswana, near the border with Zimbabwe, and there was a waterhole there. There were no animals around, but it was just so beautiful, and just these moments. And as I get older, I realize that the number of years I have left doing this is finite. And because of that, never before in my life have I lived in the moment as I do actually since I turned 60. and what overlanding is all about for me.
God, life is relentless.
Hope you fall in.
This place is incredible. We could almost be in Utah or wherever it is in the middle of the US, where you've got these mountain ranges that you all know from the Western movies. And it's completely empty here. Listen to the sound.
Time for a little bit of a break. Let's see, it's 36 degrees.
Getting warm.
It's getting warm, yeah.
It's getting warm. The Germans are shirtless again.
I need my hat because it is very, very warm. Nobody has driven these tracks for a long time, but generally speaking, the stuff is good. All good. All good. All good. Rattling, and I can hear it inside the cab, so I'm going to do something else about that for the next trip. Now, there you go. Yeah. Oh. There for air conditioning. We've probably got an hour and a half to go before we get to the next campsite, which has also got a swimming pool. Well, there's a river. Yeah, that's
sorry,
me.
I didn't want to say something.
That's what I do. That's what I do.
That's right, pretty place, isn't it?
Such a pretty place.
I'm expecting cowboys and Indians, you know, chasing the post carriage or whatever it was called back in the days.
Water, or maybe we should go. Yeah, how's it taste?
It doesn't look like
Reggie, I know, eh?
we will have a campsite next to the pool, as we hoped we might. I'm just going to go and see if there's a place to camp, any pools down the riverbed. I'm actually driving down the riverbed. Well, there's a puddle. I'm not going to drive through.
I'm all good. I'm going to walk up the hill there and have a look, because it looks like there's a barb cave there. I just want to see if there's some water in it.
Okay, I found a puddle, but it's not big enough to swim in, but it is a puddle in the riverbed. Obviously not going to work. And that dip there is soft ground, so I'm going to have to do a bit of a difficult turnaround maneuver. Actually, I don't have a lot of space.
Now the question is, fireplace or fireplace? So we're going to teach a very traditional fire making method, proudly taught to me by a good mentor of mine. You're going to want to put the sticks nice and parallel. And then once you've got a nice base set up, we're going to cheat and use a MAP gas burner. Voila, we have fire.
Another absolutely glorious campsite, but we are paying the price for nobody else being here. It is 38 degrees Celsius this morning. and I'm a bit sensitive to heat. Get to kind of, my limit's about 36. 36 I can cope with and deal with it if there's a wind blowing. More than that, I can't. The rest of the guys are finishing clearing up, and I'm just sitting in my car with the aircon going, because I know my weakness, and heat stroke is the next. Drinking copious, I mean, I've already had I think 4 of these this morning, amounts of liquid, looking after myself, but I don't do heat well. In return for that, we get these amazing places by ourselves. The evenings are nice, the nights are even, I wear a light jumper around the camping fire. Up to about 9:30, 10 is bearable. It's now just after 11. So today we're going to look for another swimming pool. If we can find a pool, we'll have a swim during the day. But again, it's 50-50 because the pools here are quite, the levels are very low and not near the campsite, and quite a long walk in to get to the pools. So hopefully today, with a bit of luck, we'll have a swim.
It is getting so hot in the desert right now. We are just going from waterhole to waterhole to spend the evenings, and then just try to drive throughout the hottest part of the day, because it has become almost unbearable, and it's probably even dangerous to be outside at these temperatures at the moment. So what we're doing is we're heading slowly towards the coast, and we're doing that by staying in the morning at our campsites, and then when it gets really hot we jump in the cars and we drive with the aircon on and try to reach the next desert swimming pool, because there are a fair few in this area. So try to arrive there as the day cools down a little bit, go for a swim, and that way slowly make our way to the coast without getting heat stroke. Even though everything is green and lush here, summer has really kicked in, and we're easily getting 40 degrees in the beating sun, and it's just unforgivable. This country and the heat in it, especially the area where we are at, the hottest area in Australia around Marble Bar, it is brutal. So let's see how we get on with this.
Am I glad that I haven't got big tits going slap me in the face right now? There'll be some bits to film maybe. Yeah, so I'm taking it easy through here.
Stabilizing effect of the camera is matching out the effect.
We are now crossing the little sandy desert. It's already 2:30 in the afternoon. The pool that we wanted to go to unfortunately was completely dried out. Even though there must have been a lot of water around, that one didn't get any. And yeah, we've got probably another 110, 120 kilometers to go to get to another location, which is called Eel Pool, which sounds disgusting but supposed to be a very nice spot. I hope that we can get there around 5 o'clock ish. That would be good. So I find it always important that there's still a little bit of daylight when setting up camp. I mean, that's the ideal scenario. Sometimes that doesn't work out. But we're now just passing grass plains. It's just such a wide open space that we're going through. And it's so hot outside. It's scorching hot. You can hardly do any activity outside. Just walking around a little bit and you can feel your heart rate going up just from the sheer heat that is in this area.
So, what's the matter?
What?
What's the matter? Your max track's coming off.
Yeah, but the screws are rattled loose.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Ah, that was a noise, right. Have you had any
louder? It was good that I checked.
any other issues with your car?
There was something.
I don't think there's anything else. You had issues with your car?
Except for everything rattling.
Nothing's falling off.
Some bolts have fallen out of the spotties.
The spotties, yeah, I'm having the same problem.
Yeah,
And,
you had the same problem, and you had the same problem.
Yeah,
Yeah, luckily
yeah.
I have all this.
Put Loctite into those things.
yeah, yeah.
Just for the future.
And I lost my mud flap. Mud flap was lost yesterday. Yeah, we learned these things. The tightening mechanism needs Loctite, which I didn't put on. But a trip like this is so necessary. Oh, also, that came loose. That's still a little bit loose. That's loose, so might get to that and tighten it tonight. And it's so necessary to. I mean, this is the first trip for this car, and it's test trip. But because I'm traveling with other people, it's easy to sort things out because you're traveling with other people. Lots of tools, lots of backup, and things like that. So, really valuable trip to figure out some of the niggles on this car. But I'm loving it. Best part about this vehicle right now is the ride. The shocks have transformed the ride of this vehicle. It's exceptionally good. Other than that, it's I love it. It's not as interesting to drive as the V8 manual, but it's still great.
There's a rhythm and rush these days, where the lights don't move and the colors don't fade. Leaves you empty with nothing but dreams, in a world gone shallow, in a world gone wild. Sometimes there's things a man cannot know. Gears won't turn and the leaves won't grow. There's no place to run and no gasoline. Engine won't turn and the train won't leave. Engines won't turn and the train won't leave. I will stay with you tonight. Hold you close till the morning light. The morning watch the new day rise. Do whatever just to stay alive. Do whatever just to stay alive. Well, the way I feel is the way I ride. Racing like the thoughts of a man who lies. There is a truth and it's on our side. Dawn is coming, open your eyes. Look into the sun as a new day's rise. And I will wait for you tonight. You're here forever and you're by my side. I've been waiting all my life to feel your heart as it's keeping.
This is amazing. But wow, it's a spring. It's a spring.
It is
Yeah.
a spring that must be coming from somewhere up there.
Wow.
Look, there's pools.
But where do we camp?
I think I'm gonna walk up the other side as well, but we could camp right here if we wanted to.
We could.
I mean, this is a water.
Dawn is coming, open your eyes. Dawn is coming, open your eyes. Dawn is coming, open your eyes.
Not a lot of space for 3 cars, but I have spotted a place between those trees on the left. I think if I position my wheels just right, I should be able to get it flat. I've parked up troopies in camping spots often enough to, well, get it right first time, quite often actually. This is going to be a challenge. There you go. I think a bit more. Stop. That is brilliant. It was a hot day today. It was a really hot day today. And this is road. You're calling, sorry, say that again, you're calling me?
Mr. White,
Yes.
would you care for a beer if it really needed you?
The beer is it shouting for me?
Yeah, it was like, I need someone.
Oh, no, I'm surprised it didn't actually use my name.
Yeah.
My full name.
It said that YouTube fucker, that old guy. And I thought it probably meant you.
Yeah, I think he meant me.
All right.
Although you have been on YouTube quite a bit, so, you know, don't speak to...
I'm not the youngest guy anymore.
No, not. A water there that you can probably not even see because the camera's not picking it up. But it is so deep and the bank is undercut, so it's actually difficult to get in and out of. But thank you, Heiner. My beer. Wonderful.
There you go.
What's the laser lamp one? Good, it's not the other one. Chink. Ah,
Chink.
there's the other one. Trying to pull off my small toe.
Australia, these fish and these things are only this big, but they can rip your arm off like that.
And eat it.
Eat it whole.
John is made a small fire and is cooking some sausages. I think I'm about to get fed.
Lunch is ready soon.
Some of these clips, some of you said, might have looked at the shots of me getting into the water with no shirt on and said, oh my God, he's so white. You're right. The extreme example of that was in 2010. We were swimming in the Kavango River in Angola, and all the local boys that had been playing in the water, jumping up and down and doing flips in the water, and I had filmed them. I then took off my shirt to cool off in the river with my travelling companions, and I said, I think this possibly, looking down at my chest, is the whitest thing these young lads have ever seen in their entire lives. People have probably never seen somebody with such white skin in their entire lives. What an adventure in Africa. I can think of not too many better jobs. It probably was. You got it.
I find it just astonishing that the entire river bank is just held together by roots.
Yeah.
Because there is no embankment. It is just roots and then undercut under the roots and then rock. It's absolutely fascinating. So we've learnt from the last trip to build a cradle for the pizzas.
Range Rover parts come to the rescue again. Pizza handle complete.
And promptly everyone decided to forget that we had to go do that again. So now we've had to improvise again. But a couple of welding electrodes will do this time.
Now tell me what's in the pizza.
We've actually got a crayfish pizza today. Lovely one going in the camp oven.
We've turned off the road now, heading due west into the sunset in search of more water pools, and we have heard that water levels, the ones that we're going to, are quite high. A short midday break then as we pass through the town of Nullas, short for Nullagine. As I walked in, he said, G'day, welcome to Nullas. Yeah, I mean, that is a traditional Australian salute. You know, welcome to, and then abbreviate it.
It's astonishing to me that a pub like this can stay open financially. For like the 6 beers that they sell in a day to run the aircon. It's a lot more.
In the evening,
yeah, this is
gotta be
the place
especially
to be.
on the weekends. Everybody because this is the only place
within
Newman and Strong that has a pub. So everybody who's living out here in the sticks,
yeah, It's the only place to go.
That's the Australia-New Zealand rugby match happening on the screen there. I'm always torn when New Zealand and Australia play because my father was in New Zealand and my mother is Australian, and I'm a Pommy. I don't feel Pommy anymore. Feel very much more of an Australian than anything else. But I miss my dad, so there you go. Cross.
Oh, there will be water. There's a shit ton of water here already. Sweet.
If we had to have waited for a train, we could have basically had supper here because the trains are the world's largest robots. They are several kilometers long. They have no driver. And they transport iron ore from the mines up to Port Hedland in the far north. Ah, water already. Right. It looks quite deep. Nice.
That looked good.
It looked good. Looked good from in here. And the exhaust pipe going.
Yeah, I could hear the fan go bzzz when it hit the water. Yours as well.
Yeah.
We are looking for something marked on the map called rope swing, which means that there's deep water and a rope. But we cannot find the actual turn off to it, so I'm going to give it a try by taking this track, radio back, and tell them if I find anything.
John, you were right with the track. The one that I saw was a lot further down. That's perfect where we went on. Roger. Oh, and there's water. Fucking hell, we've done it again.
We've done it again. River crossing. Okay, this is it. This is it, guys. This is there's a river crossing here. It looks easy, and then the big campsite on the other side of the river, underneath trees next to the water.
Another day, another pool.
Well, good morning. We have indeed done it again. Look at this absolutely beautiful campsite. Nobody else around. And again, worthy of a couple of nights' stay. Taken up a hammock there. It's like a perfect hammock because not only is he in the water, he also has shade.
How's your work day in the office, Andrew?
I am doing well, thank you. I'm just sending an Instagram of this absolutely stunning campsite to Stephanie. He will post it on Instagram. And we had a great time today, being extremely silly in the river. Well, you guys were very silly. I was very sensible.
While you're there, can you be practical and hand me a knife?
No, I can film you how you get a knife.
Why?
What are you doing?
Nothing.
What?
Just fixing some damage from corrugations.
Right, I thought you were just waiting for a mate.
I am waiting for a mate. It'll be you to get me a knife.
Righto. What is it exactly that you're fixing, mate?
A crack that is leaking water. Because these corrugations, after years of using my tank, have killed it finally.
And with the benefit of Starlink, I can call home and make them all jealous. Don't know if we're going to find, I doubt if we're going to find another place as good as this, water-wise, but you never know. We've had 3 amazing waterside campsites. 3. Astonishing, just beautiful places, full of wildlife. Full of wildlife? Yes. The river, teeming with life.
We have encountered this water crossing here. It will be a shortcut to get through, but we're unsure of what it's going to be like. So Andrew's brave enough to go first. Let's see how it goes.
It's not the depth I'm worried about, it's the firmness of the soil. So I'm using the brakes, and if the car, I kind of just get a feel of whether the ground is grabbing the wheels, and at the moment it's not grabbing the wheels. If a wheel locks and the vehicle slides or moves sideways, I know the ground is then soft. If I can make sure that I can keep my back wheels on good, firm ground with good traction and my front wheels drop, I can always quickly put it in reverse and get out of trouble. It's the point ahead that is likely to be the deepest, but the ground is hard. But this is a road, so that's why I'm thinking the ground won't be too soft, and it's not chewed up on the other side. But this is definitely the deepest part, so I'm going to go. There you go, successful water crossing. That's the way I do it anyway, for better or worse. It works because I get if I get a sense that the car is starting to slide, I use very, very little power. Very little power. And by doing that, you can tell if the mud underneath is grabbing the wheels, and it wasn't at all during the entire thing. I did the entire thing except the very, very last bit, idling. And that's why it is quite a nice way of testing a water crossing. If I was on my own, I would not have done that.
Good shortcut, good sequence, well done.
Thanks for wetting my feet. I had my dry sandals on, and they're not dry anymore.
You're welcome.
Okay, it's a pleasure.
I'm not going to charge for it.
We all need fuel, and I reckon it's a good idea to compare our fuel consumptions. Total is 994 kilometers, and I have used 139 litres. How much?
It stopped at 139, but I did squeeze 3 more liters into it just manually. So same consumption that you've got.
Well, well, well.
But I've got 35.
So you got 35s in the V8 and a
yeah.
big tent and a big, what kind of tent? Never mind. The majority of those roads were gravel roads and quite a bit of off-road track.
Yeah.
A little bit of tar, but such a small amount, not really worth it.
Yeah. But I did sit on really low revs. I usually 1,000, 1,200, 1,300 RPM, somewhere there, and just really just cruising along, even through sections, just hardly touching the accelerator, just going up and down. And I made sure of it that I shifted up as quick as possible. I think it's the best fuel consumption I've got of this car so far. It takes a lot of fuel doing 110 on the road, sitting at about 2,500
Okay,
RPM.
yeah, what?
143.
Really, we all had the same fuel consumption.
143 litres.
You had,
3 litres more than you before.
so yours was the worst?
Yeah. Canning it was the best, this time it's the worst.
But really, the fuel consumption from
See-
this car is the best.
See this face? See this face?
I think,
Flabbergasted,
yeah.
because it should have been the other way around.
But maybe I was being a bit of a buffoon and idling my car once or twice to keep the fuel.
I did quite a bit of idling with the, with the heat.
We all did, really.
Yeah.
I did that as well. But the idling, that doesn't use a lot. It's
The right foot.
the right foot that uses a lot. Andrew?
Yes. Well, we're back on the track. We are heading now south towards our homes in Perth, but we're doing it off-road, as far as we can go off-road. We will find water on the way if we are lucky.
Are we back on the track on your map now, Andrew?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, it's funny because my email maps are exactly the same.
And we'll get there in a week's time or so. I'm going to do the whole thing like this. But it didn't take long before our idea was thrown a curveball. No unauthorized entry. That's a pity. That means we've got to rethink this completely. Because we just looked at the map, literally looked at the map and said, oh, there seems to be a track there on that head. That's kind of heading south. And we took it.
Lunchtime.
We can't go on.
Gate is locked.
Yeah.
And it says in a nice way to definitely not keep on going.
Okay.
You might have to drive around it.
Oh well, if you don't try, you definitely won't succeed. So we've turned around and we're going to take going to have to go a bit on the main road. It wasn't first prize, but about 200 or so kilometres on the main road south, and then try again to head west. Place we kind of want to drive through, Mount Augusta. So we can still get there, but we might get there a day earlier than we would have had this worked. We're back on the gravel, back on the red dirt. You know, we've been chatting, we've enjoyed this trip so much because we've actually avoided tar roads. And there's something about, you're traveling through the same countryside. Asphalt, red dirt. The red dirt gives you it makes you feel as if you're exploring and overlanding and you get on the asphalt and you just wait for the next gas station and service and place where you can get yourself a toasty. The adventure's gone, even though you're traveling through the same or similar part of the country. That's the road we've done today. We could camp here, but it's not a comfortable campsite, but it's not impossible.
With all the cattle around, because they've been all through there. I mean, I wouldn't mind a swim, but it's Maybe we're a bit spoiled from the other ones that we've been to. If I look at that, it's like
We haven't been in the desert long enough.
I'm not that desperate
For us,
especially because tomorrow we're gonna be at the ocean.
yeah.
You could catch fish in here. They look funny.
There's a lot of fish. The other thing is that we're about halfway to the ocean, and it's 42 degrees. So yes, a nice swim will cool us down, but it's still going to be 40 degrees at 6 o'clock tonight. So I think I'd prefer to stay in the car and push on a little bit, and the guys agree with me. It's not long before we find ourselves on what looks like station property.
We are now about 200 kilometers south of Newman, and we've turned into a track so that we can cut across to Mount Augustus, and then we're planning to go to Gascoyne Junction and from there see if we can make it to Shark Bay in case there's some nice weather, so that we can keep on going with our pool holiday and jump into the really big pool. See how that goes, but for this night we're just looking for another pool, and we found one that is truly off-road, so we are a long way away from the road that we're actually using at the moment. Just
have a quick walk to see if I can see it, because it looks like I'm there, but I don't think it's got water in it.
we're on a little side track, and that side track hopefully goes to a pool that we might be able to swim in tonight, or at least camp at. We'll see how that goes.
It's not a terrible campsite, quite a nice campsite. Not much morning shade. Let's see if there's any water. There you go. Quite a bit of water. It's just a pool. Quite pretty. They haven't been able to find anything on their side. There might be something on this side, but I have my doubts. It's quite a... No, it's very heavily overgrown, and...
Oh, your bird's right there up in the tree.
Butcher bird, right there. I think we should just go and drive into the tree line and find some nice gum trees in the...
I'll take that as a sign that we should camp here.
Yeah.
We don't have to be close to the water.
No.
I think it's probably better if we're not, because I'm assuming this will be full of mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Alright, let's have a look. Pretty place to camp. Morning, or sun will come up there. Well, good morning to you. It's woken up and it's really very, very windy and quite flyy. So if it wasn't for the wind, the flies would be very, very bad. Right in the cattle area means that when it's hot, there are a lot of flies. Today I don't know what we're going to do because the weather might affect things. The wind is over a very, very large area. We're going to go online now and have a look. And I've just remembered I have got a camera sitting on the ground that shot a time lapse all night. Right, we're leaving the farm now. Station, not farm, station. Very important rule. It's not, you know, this is private property, so you have to be very, very careful. You leave the gate the way you found it. It's so important. And we just drove in here and suddenly realized, oh, actually this is private property. So there are no signs saying no entry and that kind of thing. And I don't think most station owners mind this. But the moment somebody interferes with the cattle and things like that, station owners rightfully get really ticked off, and then they will put a ban on vehicles entering their property, and it ruins it for everybody. So you have to be really, really respectful of the fact that you are driving on private land.
As this grader coming up, I'm changing to channel 40 to let them know that I'm overtaking. Roger.
This travel is amazing. I love this kind of thing. We're just crossing east to west and going through it's a public road through a private station property. A lot of the roads are in very good condition. So, you know, we can easily, comfortably sit at 80. It's wonderful. It's 6 p.m. and this looks pretty. My guess is there won't be water here, but you never know. It certainly is pretty.
There might be a bit of a drop there, maybe keep to the left from there.
The guys are going to go
just this way,
drive along the riverbed to
the drop's not bad either.
find a camping spot. I shall follow them, and John can determine whether we need to let down our tyres in the riverbed sand, which is something that I do not feel like doing because it is so warm. I would prefer not to do it if I don't have to.
What do you guys reckon? Where for camping, just in that riverbed there? Yeah, I reckon where Andrew is pretty wicked. Andrew got some time spot. Good on you for getting in there, mate.
Yeah, there's not a lot. It's quite soft.
Stay exactly where you are. This is brilliant.
Oh, well. Johnny's going to put his car there. It's actually really cool. I'll have morning sun too, well, morning shade too, which will be good. It's a bit lumpy, the ground to walk on, but your head's going to be downhill.
My head?
Yeah.
My head up, yeah.
In that case, your head's going to be uphill. I am allergic to cold water. Seriously allergic to water. Cold water. I scream uncontrollably, sometimes for minutes afterwards. But I'm going to take the plunge now. It's been a hot day. Glorious place. I'm not going to put my head underwater because cattle use this water, and well, you know, we don't have what is known Africa is bilharzia, which is a waterborne snail. In Africa, I would not swim in this. Even if there were no animals around, I wouldn't swim in it because of the bilharzia. It can make you very sick. And but here, come on in, the water's fine. This is better, it's cooling me down. And those of you who are saying to me, oh Andrew, you're complaining a lot about the heat. I'm English. That's not, I'm complaining a lot. That is the fact that I'm just not used to the heat. I've been to many places where I've had to cope with very, very high ambient temperatures, and this is one of them, and I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. But if it hadn't been for the water and the swimming, I don't think I would have been as okay. Horrible campsite. I mean,
I'll
we really
probably
had to
say
settle, didn't we?
a lot of people think that the Australian desert is just desolate of life. And if you get out here, you get bitten by a snake or something else that's venomous straight away. But I think this trip shows the Australian outback is full of life. Even fish and marine. And I mean, we are in October now, almost November. So which is really getting to the hot season, and still we find so much fish life in the desert, in the outback, even close 50 kilometers from Marble Bar maybe, where we had that pool with the paperbark trees. It's the hottest place in Australia, and I swam in the nicest natural pool that I've ever been in. So I think the Australian outback has got so much more to offer than a lot of people think. You just have to know where to go.
And what to look for.
And what to look for.
It's less obvious than big animals.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, I've seen a few kangaroos. I haven't seen an emu on this trip yet, and we've seen lots of cows.
And some camels.
We've seen a
And
bastard.
we've seen camels.
Bastard.
Bastard.
Not a bastard.
No, a bastard.
Looking at two bastards right here.
Yeah. But you look closely at stuff, and we saw a beautiful snake.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't a tiger snake. It was
Simpson Desert
Desert python.
Yeah.
What
That
an
looked really cool.
exquisite creature.
Still gave me the heebie-jeebies though. I could not walk around without a head torch that evening anymore.
It was a day I was glad to have a rooftop tent this trip instead of having a swag.
Yeah.
Actually,
I
I
was
don't feel
very
I don't
happy.
feel that way about the snakes, but I do feel that way about the centipede.
Oh yeah.
That's a nasty bugger.
And that was easily, how long is that?
15 centimeters? 10?
You know.
No.
Of course.
Yeah. And it crawled up my leg. And John saved me. Because the only thing that I could actually do in that moment was to go, help.
Yeah, you went help me with this. Very calmly. But there was a bit of stuttering as you said it.
There was definitely panic in my voice, because I know when they sting you, it's going to be not nice. It's a bit like a scorpion sting when the big centipedes get you.
I mean, that one was quite the large one.
That was the largest one that I've seen so far.
And today we have driven across Western Australia, east to west, all on gravel roads.
Yeah.
They're very well maintained roads, but it's been brilliant because it was just cruising and just seeing the beautiful scenery change and go by. And I think the entire day we saw 2 cars and 2 road trains the entire day.
Yeah.
And one grader.
And a grader.
And you wouldn't shut up about your suspension.
And I wouldn't shut up about my suspension.
But that's just been this whole trip.
Sorry. It fascinates me that every big trip that I have taken in Australia, in the last 2, 3 or 4 days, I've been visited by my favourite bird, the butcher bird. Its call is intoxicating. And now again, as our trip comes to a close, I am visited by a butcher bird. So I'm going this way. Hannah's gone that way on that track. There's just a mist. There's like a maze of tracks.
Yeah, I don't think this is it. This doesn't feel right. I'm just cruising around the paddock here.
This one looks. What do you reckon, John?
Is this track meant to go southeast or which way?
Actually, it curves very quickly and starts going north west.
It's been a long time since anybody has driven this track. It doesn't even really exist anymore. But
It's completely
we can-
different to the GPS.
Yeah, but I've got the fence lines on the map,
Okay.
and we can follow that fence line because we need to do a left turn here
Yes.
and go along the fence line.
Yes.
But there's not a lot left, but you know, I'm game enough to just play around. We've got plenty of water, plenty of fuel. See if we can find the way through, if you're up for it.
Yeah, I'm absolutely up for it.
Because it might be quite the nice adventure to play around in here, I think.
That there is what we're trying to reach.
Yes.
And that is a dead straight road, which means it's
Yeah.
running along a fence line.
And you see these there, sorry,
Yeah.
the dots, they're
Yeah.
the fence line,
That's
so
the
we
fence
can hug the fence line
Yeah.
and then keep going, and then,
Hopefully hit this one.
yeah, but otherwise, the fence lines need to be somehow maintained, so
Does actually have a name. That road does actually have a name.
I think it had
Hey,
a
Maran
name.
Malagu
It-
Road.
Since that is not being used anymore,
Yeah.
Balgo, it's
Yeah.
probably just gone and disappeared, that whole road.
Yeah.
But we can reopen it today.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I think so too. Because it's not very far, but that's
No, it's not very far.
10 kilometers, maybe 15. We'll find a way through that.
37.
37?
37. The whole thing is, well, it says 4, 37 and another 37, I think.
Ah, right, yeah. Yes.
I think the whole thing is 37.
Cool.
I think that.
All right.
All right. See what happens.
Let's see if we can get through
Yeah,
that.
as you say, we've got plenty of fuel, plenty of food, plenty of time.
Yeah. What could possibly go wrong?
Never say that. So that is the track. There. That is the track that is on the map. So what we've got down, we've on the map. On the map. That's the old cattle grid.
So close yet so far.
So
away.
far.
It might be, I don't know how many kilometers down that side or that side. You never know.
You never know.
We just have to try and find out where we can get through the fence line.
Well, given the map, this fence line goes all the way to the long way. Okay, something's happening up ahead. We've done another 5 or so kilometers and it's turning the wrong way.
You can backtrack this completely.
Yeah, this is going the wrong way, the opposite way. We might have to.
The underside of my car is full.
Oh, look at that.
It's all full underneath there.
You. Do your grass nets, because you're the leading vehicle, so you're taking.
Absolutely.
You're taking the brunt of it.
And have a look at how much has accumulated already.
It's
Look down here.
Only a K or two. Yeah. Okay, go.
Good thing is it comes off easily.
Yeah.
It's not spin effect. Spin effect will be here for hours now picking that out.
There you go. Good enough. All right, just about done. We're both now wearing grill nets, and we're gonna have to backtrack. about 15 kilometers, maybe 20, and then take a long way, which is going to add maybe 100 kilometers to the drive. Well, here we are. Biggest pool we're going to find on this trip. It's commonly called the Indian Ocean. We have a very stiff wind to cope with tonight, so getting comfortable on the beach is probably not going to be easy. Okay, so we checked into the campsite and it's horrible. So we've kind of driven out of the campsite, but it's quite boggy, and trying to find both an interesting place to camp and something out of the wind. Finding something out of the wind is probably unlikely, but finding an interesting place to camp is likely. For this bit, we've all gone our separate ways to see who can find the most interesting and comfortable spot. John, did you just flash me?
Roger, yeah, I did. Yeah, the salt flats here are quite hard.
Not going to be a lot of fun.
Definitely cross the salt flat. There's a track through there, and that's the nice part where you can get to. But it's a bit late in the day to do that.
Nice hot day today, and now I have a bloody heated jacket on, and I'm contemplating about turning it on.
Yeah.
So I miss the heat.
I miss the heat. We arrived here and I thought, can we just turn around and go back?
Yeah.
Because it was so nice. The other campsites, but we were really spoiled with the campsites. And I mean, if it's still a nice sunset, it's just a wind and sucks.
Yeah. We have definitely been spoiled so far. That everything apart from perfect is just
Not acceptable anymore. But I think we can cross that salt flat tomorrow. There's a track through, and I think on the other side it will be a lot better. But
Maybe 50-50.
it's a bit too late to attempt that today. I don't want to do recovery on a salt flat in the dark.
No. That could be a bit of a mission.
We managed to leave that very ordinary campsite, drove south along the edge of the salt flats, and in the far distance, that thin line before, sorry if you've heard this again, the biggest pond of all, the Indian Ocean. The wind has maintained itself throughout the night, and weather forecast suggests that it is going to get considerably stronger over the next 3 days along this coastline. So we've decided to conclude our wonderful trip here. I hope you've enjoyed it. We have had an absolute blast. Do me a favour, if you've liked the video, just click that little like button. It helps us out. Till the next time.